Hey guys, this is Dustin coming at you with another review. So today I'm actually getting 4 fragrances I've never had before. One, Halloween Man X, I have had experience with in the past, and I'll be getting Boss Bottled Private Accord, as well as a Black Orchid clone, and Oud for Glory is coming by Lattafa. So there's gonna be a few different videos coming up here in the near future. But today I have a review. I've been wearing this now off and on for a little bit. It's summertime here in Oregon, so I know that's probably not the best time to wear this fragrance. And the fragrance I'm talking about is by the House of Lattafa, and that is Velvet Oud. This one is definitely what I'd call more masculine, more masculine. They classify it as a unisex fragrance. So look at the presentation. This presentation is gorgeous. And you pull out the bottom here, and then there's your bottle. Gorgeous little crystal. You have the Lattafa emblem, and then side there. Sorry for the massive reflection, guys. I have a cracked screen on my cell phone. But in the top, now what they're trying to do with this one, from everything I've heard, is they're trying to have this be a clone of Tom Ford Tuscan leather. Now, I've never had my nose on Tuscan leather, but in the top, just off the atomizer, you get kind of a sweetness, like a sweet woodiness. The leather's there, but it's more of a smooth leather as opposed to a heavy animalic leather. Give it a spray. Yeah, right off first spray, I'm getting like a floral with almost like a slight citrus zest, kind of. And then that oud comes through. And this oud is not fecally or poopy or barnyardy in any way. It's really well done. It's more of a smoky, dark woody oud. And it blends super well with the florals in here, so I'm not getting one note more dominant than the other. But the good thing about this is it is a strong one in performance. And anybody who knows me and how I like my fragrances, I spray heavy, sometimes 10 sprays minimum, usually 8 to 10 sprays minimum. This one, I sprayed it on an 85-degree day. That was probably not a good idea because it got really sweet, very cloying, and the scent was fantastic, but you have to like oud. But I think for somebody getting into oud, this is not going to break the bank. On Amazon, you can find this in the high 20s to low 30s in that full presentation. It's a gorgeous presentation. Now, up in the air, it's still, how this progresses for me is it stays kind of that floral, smoky, dark, woody vibe all the way through. But as it starts to dry down, it kind of stays in that same wheelhouse more or less. But the good thing about this is it's a strong performer. On me, it's in that 8-hour longevity, 9-hour longevity range, and that's on skin. On clothes, I'm smelling it for the next 2 days on my clothes. And so this is definitely something I recommend on a cooler day, probably early fall when the weather starts getting a little bit cooler. This will hold up. This will work well for you. Maybe on a cooler spring day, spring morning, where the highs probably aren't getting, you know, above 70 degrees, above 75 degrees, this is going to work fine. You could wear it in the summer, but go super light on the sprayer. But for me, from 1 to 10, as far as performance goes, this is an 8.5 out of 10. To me, it's not quite beast mode as far as like, say, Rasasi Shura or something along those lines where it's like 3 sprays and you're almost gagging a room to death with how strong it is. But this one, this is getting there. It's fairly close. Now, as far as projection goes, this projects strong, above average projection for that first 2.5, roughly 3 hours for me. And then it never really becomes a skin scent on me until about the 6.5 hour mark. But even at that mark, I'm still catching wafts of it. And so it's a strong performer. And so for me, it has its place. You know, this is something that you can dress up. This is something you can dress down, wear casually, however you want to wear it. So the versatility's there. Now, as far as for versatility, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great fragrance for if you want to, you know, just go around. This would be I could imagine being a decent clubbing scent. I'm not much of a clubber, but as far as just going around town, going out to dinner, this would be a great date night fragrance. It's definitely, with the floral, is going to come across a little bit more feminine, but it's that smoky, dark, woody vibe that I really like about this. So as far as for me, this is definitely an 8.5 out of 10 fragrance. I definitely recommend it for somebody who wants to try an oud fragrance. This would be a fantastic one. It's not going to be that fecally, barnyardy oud. It's going to be just a good, smoky, dark, woody kind of oud. This is how I feel oud should be if you want to try it and it be more leaning towards mass appealing version of oud. This is where you would want it, kind of in that smoky, woody vibe. So this has been my review on Velvet Oud by Lattafa. You have a good one, guys. Take it easy.